Trump was presented with the Crown of Jerusalem award. He hinted that he could leave the USA and lead Israel someday. Sam Altman has launched WorldCoin. The company plans to use its orb to scan the eyeballs of every human on the planet. A 911 call was placed from Barack Obama's Martha's Vineyard home to report a dead body in a nearby pond. A massive fireball over southern U.S. states frightened people who thought it was the end of the world. And there's talk tonight of civil war in Israel as Israeli citizens vent their anger at Bibi Netanyahu's extremist government. Welcome to True News for Monday, July 24, 2023. Let's start with the story about the Jewish crown presented to former President Donald Trump. This is the Jewish News Service. Israel Heritage Foundation awards Trump Crown of Jerusalem.
We can't make these stories up today, Rick.
It's Monday, Doc. This is today's newscast. If Mad Magazine had a newscast, I don't think they could outdo what we're going to do today.
Yeah, it seems like we were talking about some of the headlines today. It was like a classic True News episode from 2008, 2009 with these kind of headlines here. Well, let's get started here. As Rick mentioned, the Crown of Jerusalem was awarded to Donald Trump. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was awarded the Crown of Jerusalem by the Israel Heritage Foundation. Now, the award ceremony took place at the Trump National Golf Club in New Jersey, where 150 Orthodox Jews gathered to honor Mr. Trump for his support of Israel and the Jewish people. Now, the award, a Silver Torah Crown, was presented by Rabbi David Katz and Dr. Joseph Frager. Members of Congress, including Representative Tim Burchett and Josh Breachin, were in attendance as well, along with Mort Klein, National President of the Zionist Organization of America.
You ready for this, Doc? We've got the video of the Crown of Jerusalem being presented to former President Donald Trump.
Okay. Give thanks to Hashem for his work is good, his kindness endures forever. Presented to President Donald J. Trump for his extraordinary and heroic efforts. I like that very much. To help the state of Israel and the Jewish people. He and his family should be blessed eternally from the Israel Heritage Foundation, July 10th, 2023. I want to thank you. Let me put it this way. If we don't win, Israel's in big trouble. I really do. I mean it. Israel's in big trouble. 100 more years. 100 more years. What is this, a test? The rabbis give me a test. And no men in women's sports. Do we have
Well, Mr. Trump expressed his gratitude and discussed his efforts on the behalf of Israel, including recognizing Jerusalem as the capital and the Golan Heights as part of Israel. He also emphasized that he polls at 99% in Israel, but only around 26-28% among U.S. Jews. Mr. Trump encouraged the Jewish community to be more proactive in Congress as he believed they were not receiving enough support and some former supporters had turned against him. Now, Rabbi Katz said this is a person that doesn't care only for himself, but cares for the entire world, especially for the people in Israel and for the Jews in America. The Israel Heritage Foundation strives to preserve the memory of the 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust by the Nazis. The Israeli Heritage Foundation fights anti-Semitism day in and day out, and the Israel Heritage Foundation advocates for the land of Israel, especially in Judea and Samaria, and even more especially for sovereignty in Area C. That's coming from Dr. Joseph Frager. He's the Executive Vice President of the Israel Heritage Foundation. Now, he presented the award, a Silver Torah Crown contained in a glass box, along with Rabbi Katz. An inscription quoted Psalm 136:1, and noted Trump's extraordinary and heroic efforts to help the state of Israel and the Jewish people. Now, Mr. Trump told the audience the United States backs Israel, but they back it less than they used to. I was having a lot of problems getting support for Israel, and I can't really understand it. If he decided to give this up and go over to Israel, he would be elected prime minister very quickly, he added. As I mentioned, the former president noted that he polls at 99% in Israel, but only about 26 or 28% among U.S. Jews. He said, I should be at 100%, he said.
Let's go back to the previous quote. Mr. Trump told the audience, the United States backs Israel, but they back it less than they used to. I want to skip down to where it says, if he, meaning Trump.
Yes.
If Trump decided to give this up, give up what?
Give up everything he is
in America.
Wealth. Yes.
Seeking the presidency, his U.S. citizenship. This is what this man's saying. Mr. Trump was saying, if he decided to give this up, meaning his citizenship in America, his quest for the presidency, his position in America, and go over to Israel, he would be elected prime minister very quickly, Mr. Trump said. Doc, I believe Mr. Trump just opened up a window to his mind and gave us a glimpse of what he's thinking about.
At least a possibility that exists.
Hear me out, folks. The Democrats have Mr. Trump boxed in. Right now, he's facing something like 500 years in prison, multiple criminal counts, and more coming. I've said many times, if they just win one conviction, he's going to be behind bars. But they're going to have 35, 45, 50 by the time this is all over. If Mr. Trump's enemies and Mr. Trump sit down and work out a deal, and the deal is he surrenders his passport. Hear me out. Mr. Trump surrenders his U.S. passport, goes to Israel, seeks asylum. Benjamin Netanyahu grants Mr. Trump Israeli citizenship, which he would have to renounce Christianity and convert to Judaism in order to have citizenship. Mr. Trump said if he was in Israel, he could be elected quickly as prime minister. Well, you can only be the prime minister if you are a Jew.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to go for prime minister. They gave him the crown of Jerusalem. What if Mr. Trump declares himself the king of the Jews? What if
they gave him a crown?
They gave him a crown. They gave him a crown. Folks, this is for real. They gave him a crown. Mr. Trump is a builder, a master mason. He's a builder, and he's a master at building. You could call him a master mason.
Okay. And what is there to be built
A
in
temple.
Israel?
A temple.
A beautiful temple.
Yes. God doesn't want it, and God doesn't, and I don't believe anywhere in the Bible it states that God desires a temple to be built in Israel. But the devil wants one. The devil has prophesied that there will be one. And the Freemasons want one. The Illuminati wants one. The Knights Templar want one. The Jews want one. So what would they have to do? They'd have to get rid of the Temple Mount. And the Islamic mosque.